Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today because I've got a lot of information coming out from the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden with the Houthis down in Yemen. Lots and lots of information coming out today. So the latest is this ship right here you see on your screen. This is the Rubymar. Okay, this is a British cargo ship that was supposedly struck in the Red Sea, and I believe it's sinking right now. Okay, so I think this might be the first ship that was actually struck hard enough to where the ship is actually sinking. Okay, we've had lots of ships come under attack, and the port side on the ship on the top will get hit or something, but then they'll just put the fire out and they'll continue on their way. Well, this ship is actually supposedly sinking right now, and also the crew has had to abandon the ship. So most likely this ship is going to sink. This is major, major escalation here because we've got a ship now that's potentially sinking. So I just want to note here that this whole Operation Prosperity Guardian thing has been going on for quite some time now, for quite a few months now, right? Yet we still have ships that are coming under attack and being hit. And I've been saying too that for a while that at some point, one of these missiles are going to kill somebody on one of these ships. Luckily, I don't think any of the crew here was hurt, but we have one level up from what's normally been happening, which is these ships are getting struck, but then they continue. Well, now we've got a ship that's struck so badly that it's actually sinking. So this ship on your screen that you see here, this is the Ruby Mar, but I don't know if this is the exact ship that was hit. This is just an example of what I found online. So again, I'm just using this picture as reference, but this is apparently a Ruby Mar ship. Okay, so I've got some other information coming out here as well that it appears that the Houthis are claiming that they shot down a Reaper drone, an unmanned Reaper drone over Yemen. Okay, so they're claiming they shot that down. I believe they have shot down multiples of these over the past, at least maybe two, I think. But definitely they shot down one recently. They're claiming they did at least. And also, we're seeing a new tactic coming from the Houthis now that they are using underwater drones. Okay, underwater. We've seen above water, they call them USVs, unmanned surface vessel, right? So these are kind of like what Ukraine is using over um, in the Black Sea to take out the Russian warships. Okay, these are small little boats that are unmanned and they float above water and they strike ships. Well, now these are underwater drones. Okay, they're almost in a way kind of like a torpedo, but unmanned and controlled remotely to try to crash them into a ship and blow up a ship. So the Navy, the U.S. Navy, just struck one of these and took one out recently in the last 24 hours. So lots of information coming out right now. We're even going to be talking about U.S. Admiral Brad Cooper. He's got some warnings coming out, and also the EU is launching their naval mission to protect Red Sea voyages and Gulf of Aden commercial vessels that are trying to travel through there. Okay, so let's go into this first. I've got U.S. Central Command press release here. This is the most recent one as of February 18th. Okay, so between the hours of 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Sanaa time, February 17th, CENTCOM successfully conducted 5 self-defense strikes against 3 mobile anti-ship cruise missiles, 1 unmanned underwater vessel, a UUV. So that's that kind of like that torpedo I was telling you. It's like an underwater torpedo in a way, underwater drone that doesn't go above water. It's underwater, so it's much harder to take out. And 1 unmanned surface vessel, USV. So that's like the drones on top of the water in Iranian-backed Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen. This is the first observed Houthi employment of a UUV since attacks began on October 23rd. CENTCOM identified the anti-ship cruise missiles, unmanned underwater vessel, and the unmanned surface vessel in Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen and determined they presented an imminent threat to U.S. Navy ships and merchant vessels in the region. These actions will protect freedom of navigation and make international waters safer and more secure for U.S. Navy and merchant vessels. So again, the Houthis are getting clever here. Okay, I've also got some word as well that it looks like they could be trying to go after the underwater sea cables, so like internet cables. Okay, the underwater cables that run through next to Yemen. Okay, through the Red Sea. These could definitely impact internet throughout the West. Okay, and potentially throughout the U.S. as well, depending on which cables they strike. So lots of threats coming out here, and what's happening down here in Yemen is just absolutely insane. The amount of um, escalation that's happening down here, it's getting worse and worse every single day. And what did I say? That the closer we get to this invasion of Rafah, with Israel moving into Rafah, the most southern city inside of Gaza, this is basically the last operation in Gaza before Hamas is supposedly eliminated, and we're going to have a lot of innocent people that are going to be killed. So these attacks are going to really start to pick up here from the Houthis and all these groups once this really starts to kick off down in Rafah. It hasn't completely begun yet, but the preparations are beginning now. So we're going to talk about this real quick. We're going to get into detail with this British ship that was hit and the drone that was taken out over Yemen, the American drone. So the Houthi group says it hit a British cargo ship that is believed to be significantly damaged and shot down a U.S. drone over its territory as the Yemeni group continued to target ships in the Red Sea, demanding an end to Israel's war on Gaza. The Houthis claimed of attacks come as the United States carried out 5 strikes in Yemen late on Saturday night as part of Washington's military campaign after Houthis targeting of Israeli-linked vessels disrupted global trade passing through the Red Sea. Houthis have now expanded their attacks to include U.S. and U.K. ships after the two countries launched strikes on the war-torn Arab nation. The Rubymar cargo ship suffered catastrophic damages and came to a complete halt, so it is completely out of service, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first ship, as far as I know, that has been so badly damaged that it's out of service and sinking. After being targeted in a military operation, said Houthi military spokesman Yahya Saree in a televised address on Monday. As a result of the extensive damage the ship suffered, it is now at risk of potentially sinking in the Gulf of Aden. During the operation, we made sure that the ship's crew exited safely. The British maritime security firm Ombre confirmed that the Rubymar is a UK-registered, Belize-flagged, and Lebanese-operated cargo ship that came under attack late on Sunday. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations, UKMTO, also confirmed the incident without naming the ship and said it took place some 35 nautical miles south of Al Maka, which is Mocha in Yemen. Military authorities report crew have abandoned the vessel at anchor, and all crew are safe, it said. Military authorities remain on scene to provide assistance. So here's the UKMT warning here, February 19th, 2024. So this was very recent. UKMTO has received a report of an incident 35 nautical miles south of Al Mukha, Yemen. Military authorities report crew have abandoned the vessel at anchor, and all crew are safe. Military authorities remain on scene to provide assistance. So it looks like it happened right here, right next to the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, right at the entrance to the Red Sea, is right where this happened at. And this is where a lot of the attacks are really taking place here. I've been noticing lately that many of these attacks come from Mocha or a little bit further up. I think Hodeida is over here somewhere. So a lot of these attacks are taking place in this area too. Just in the last month, many of the attacks were down here in the Gulf of Aden, but now we're starting to see more attacks here going into the Red Sea. And it's obviously a lot easier for them to attack the ships here because it's there's much smaller, water surface area here and more land. So it's much easier for them to target these ships when they're going by. So on Monday, Ombre said another vessel, a U.S.-owned and Greek-flagged bulk carrier, has called for military assistance, citing a missile attack. The UKMTO also confirmed the incident 100 nautical miles off Yemen's Aden, with both sources reporting the vessel's crew safe. So I believe I already reported on this ship here just the other day. Houthi military also claimed to have downed a U.S.-made MQ-9 Reaper attack drone over Yemen, which it said was carrying out hostile missions against our country on behalf of the Zionist entity. The Zionist entity, by the way, is Israel. It did not provide any evidence, but it has downed the same drone, which is worth over 30 million several times before. So yeah, apparently they've knocked these down quite a few times. I do remember a report of it happening one time, but they're claiming apparently several times. So maybe two or three or more. The Pentagon acknowledged in November that an MQ-9 was shot down over the Red Sea. Houthis, who seized power in Yemen's capital Sana'a, and the country's north in 2014, possess surface-to-air missile systems capable of shooting down the advanced drones. So, wow, it's again, it's crazy what is happening over here. There's so much escalation, happening every single day. And again, this Rubymar ship was hit here and is supposedly sinking. So this is going to be a big deal here, and we're going to be having major problems. But I'm going to be putting out an article here in just a second for you that the EU is going to be launching their naval coalition to help protect the sea. So maybe it'll help. We'll have to see what happens. But I want to go over this briefly, just real quick. So U.S. Vice Admiral Brad Cooper, he was on 60 Minutes. I did a short on this just the other day. And he was on 60 Minutes. There's multiple clips you can find online, or you can watch the full video, where he's basically talking to the news anchor on CBS News 60 Minutes and explaining what's going on over here in the Red Sea. And he apparently during this interview, he said here that U.S. Admiral says the fight against the Houthis in the Red Sea is the largest battle the Navy has fought since World War II. And some people might think, well, really? Like, okay, it's not that bad what's going on over here. Well, the thing is that the Navy has not really gotten too involved. The actual Navy, if we're talking the military, like Marines, Army, things like that, yes, okay, they've fought multiple wars. Afghanistan, all these different Middle Eastern countries. But as far as the Navy getting involved, this probably is one of the greatest battles that have been fought since World War II, because what he states here, here's what he says. A U.S. Navy admiral says the conflict against the Houthis in the Red Sea is one of the largest naval battles the U.S. has fought in decades. And he said here, I think you'd have to go back to World War II, where you have ships who are engaged in combat. So in a way, he's kind of correct here, because the ships actually firing missiles, and what we've been seeing here with these coalition-led strikes, whenever they launch these attacks, like these Tomahawk missiles, these are coming from these ships, from U.S. warships, okay? The destroyers that we have off the coast of the Gulf of Aden, these Tomahawk missiles and many of these attacks are coming from these Navy ships. It's not all, F-18s, F-16s going in and bombing Yemen. A lot of this is coming from the Navy as well, okay? So he also said, when I say engaged in combat, where they're getting shot at, we're getting shot at, and we're shooting back. So what he's saying here too is obviously we have been attacking Yemen. The United States has been, right? But also the U.S. warships, I've reported this many times, the USS Carney, the USS Gravely, both of those have been attacked by anti-ship ballistic missiles multiple times. Okay, most of these attacks are obviously on commercial vessels, but there has been direct attacks on U.S. Warships as well. Okay, so in a way, yeah, this is probably the greatest conflict that the Navy has fought in quite some time. So Cooper, the deputy commander of the U.S. Central Command, told CBS 60 Minutes that the Navy had committed about 7,000 sailors to the Red Sea. CBS reported that the Navy had fired about 100 standard surface-to-air missiles against Houthi missiles and drones. So imagine, too, each of these missiles are millions of dollars, okay? Millions. I'm talking millions of dollars. So each one of these that we fire is millions of dollars wasted. And then these drones that the Houthis are launching cost, what, 10,000, maybe 15,000 a piece. So it's very economically damaging to the United States and the military, especially at a time when lots of our ammunition is going to places like Ukraine, okay? And all of that has to get replaced. How does that get replaced whenever all of this, this money is getting spent on missiles shooting down really cheap drones? It's going to be very cost effective for the Houthis to continue doing this, and they may continue doing this even if the war in Israel ends. Okay, I would not be surprised if the Houthis continue attacking ships down here, and if they do, I mark my words, if these attacks continue even when the war in Israel or in Gaza ends with Israel, I wouldn't be surprised if America feels the need to go boots on the ground in Yemen to put a stop to this, because how else are they going to discontinue these attacks if the Houthis continue to do so, if they choose to, right? So real quick, we're going to go over this as well. This is other news that came out. EU launches mission to protect ships in the Red Sea from the Houthis. It won't partake in military strikes. So here's this EU-led coalition, naval coalition, where multiple countries in the EU are going to be sending warships down to the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden to help protect these shipping lanes. But again, here they say that they're not going to get involved in military strikes. Okay. So, European Union has launched Monday a naval mission to help protect cargo ships in the Red Sea as attacks by Houthi rebels in Yemen continue to threaten maritime traffic, hamper trade, and drive up prices. Dubbed Aspides, Greek for shield, the mission will run out of Larissa in central Greece, home to the Hellenic Air Force and NATO headquarters under the command of Greek Commodore Vasilios Griparis. Okay. However, the EU mission will not take part in any military strikes and will only operate at sea. Within its defensive mandate, the operation will provide maritime situational awareness, accompany vessels, and protect them against possible multi-domain attacks at sea. EU headquarters said in a statement after the bloc's foreign ministers had endorsed the mission. The entire global economy is being hit. It's not just the European ships that are repeatedly jeopardized by Houthi missiles in the Red Sea, but the entire international shipping industry. German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock told reporters in Brussels. She said that apart from protecting European ships, the mission makes it clear that we as an international community stand together in face of attacks, terrorist attacks on the freedom of sea lanes. Germany is contributing a frigate to the mission, as is Belgium. So this goes to show you right here, this goes to show you that the global economy is definitely taking a hit right now. Extremely being hit by what's going on here, because many of these companies like Maersk, for example, I've reported on them many times. Major shipping company is diverting around the Horn of Africa, okay, just to get away from the Red Sea, and this is costing them tons more money in fuel and time, okay, and it's delaying shipments all around the world, and it really does not take a lot to snap the supply chain. Okay, the supply chain has already been under heavy strain since the pandemic, when there was extreme bottlenecks, just even off the coast of California in the United States and all over the place. There was a lot of international shipping issues, okay? And now we're back at it again, all at a time when the entire world is struggling, okay? We've had recessions reported in Japan, and I believe also in Germany. Germany has slipped into recession. Was it the UK? It might even been the UK. I can't remember, but I know for sure Japan and Germany are in recession right now, and we're just waiting for the US to come out and announce that they're in recession. So the whole world is starting to slow down here. The entire world's economy is slowing down, and at the same time, international shipping is taking a major hit. So this could be really bad. So clearly, if these EU nations are forming a naval coalition to go down here and protect these shipping lanes, it's obviously very vital that we allow these ships to continue going through here. They obviously cannot all divert, because they're still taking the risk in going through here. And what this is going to do too is this is going to cause insurance companies to raise their rates to cover the cost of these ships being attacked and damaged and then having to be repaired or replaced, especially if they have to be replaced. It's going to cost way more money. So this is a really big issue here, and it's getting worse every single day. I've been reporting on the Houthis for quite some time now, basically since early January, okay, when this channel got started. So big deal what's happening over here, and if any other information comes out, I will definitely update all of you, but it looks like things are getting crazy down here again. Things are starting to ramp back up, and like I said, now that Israel is going to be moving into Rafah, the last city inside of Gaza before they start to wind down operations, we're going to see things pop off here very soon. I really think we're going to see major attacks from the Houthis. They're going to be launching attacks after attacks after attacks. And there's going to be a lot of reports from me coming out here very soon. But even right now, lots of attacks. So they're getting very clever and they're trying to find out more ways to impact international shipping, impact the world. Okay, they're just like I told you with the undersea water cables. There's lots of threats of that, of those being cut. Okay, so the United States and the UK and whatever countries decide to get involved down here, they're going to have their hands tied up for quite some time. And like I said, what happens if the Houthis decide they don't want to they don't want to discontinue their attacks, even if Israel ends their war down in Gaza? Think about that. It could get really bad. That's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you hanging out with me here today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And also, if you enjoyed my content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. So with that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. Enjoy your Monday. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you later.